Alright guys, here is um, a modern matchup in a two-man queue. I will be playing the deck that I just deck-teched, and we won the ride or die roll, so I will play first. This hand seems like a keep because I have all my colors of lands. I have some cyclers and some land removal, and some exiling stuff in the Faerie Macabre, so, and then John Charm just in case I need it. So this should be good. I need to draw some more cyclers and one of the Cascade spells, obviously, but I'm not going to be mulliganing. So we'll see if he mulligans, and then lead it off. So he mulled to 5, and kept his hand on 5, so it's a good start for us. I mean, obviously, it's always nice when your opponent mulls to 5. Sorry, I have a stop on this from my popper. Oh gosh, Tron. Well, it's good we have these two land destruction spells in our opening hand then, because Tron sometimes is a really hard matchup for this deck, just because they can usually go faster than us. So Living End is always a bad draw in this deck, because you'd always rather just draw a Cascade spell or more cyclers or something else. It's like one of the only bad draws, but because he's stuck on mana, I'm not too worried again. If he does draw a land, he'll probably have Tron complete, though, just because he has the Expedition map already. So here's a Cascade spell. We have 3 guys in the graveyard. If we draw a land, we need to draw something to target with the Demonic Dread, but as of right now, I think we're just going to play the Fulminator Mage and kill his land. Because that gives us some time to draw some cards, some lands to play the Avalanche Riders. Yeah, so he just scoops to the Fulminator Mage. Alright, well, that wasn't a very interesting game, but we'll see what happens next game. So in this matchup, there are basically, you want, Ricochet Traps are really bad. Saving Spirit Guide's also pretty bad, just because it's like, doesn't really do much against them, and you kind of want to be proactive against Tron. Ingot Chewer is good because it takes out their like Expedition maps if they haven't used them yet, or their egg pieces, or you know, there's just a bunch of stuff that you can kill in Ingot Chewer. And also Wormcoil is a big, huge problem for this deck, so there's that. Beast Within's good because it kills Karn. Other than that, there's like not really anything to bring. Tron, as I said, is kind of a hard matchup. You have to draw the land removal spells and get the a pretty good start. So what I usually take out against Tron is just the life gain, because if you usually if they have stuff, you're pretty much dead anyway. So I like leaving in 1 John Charm, kind of, but I think in this case I would rather have a Faerie Macabre, and the reason is because John Charm would only really be in there to exile the graveyard, or deal 2 damage. But generally, if you're dealing 2 damage, you're already winning, so you don't really need the John Charm, and if you're exiling their graveyard, Faerie Macabre is just better at doing that. It's kind of a toss-up between Faerie Macabre and Gnawed of the Bone on which one I want. I'm not sure if he's red-green Tron or red-blue Tron, or, you know, I'm not sure what colors he is, because all we saw last game were 2 cards. So against the blue decks, we are going to want the Ricochet Traps, but I'm not sure if he's blue, so, and generally blue is less common. So I'm going to start with this, and if he's blue, we'll bring in the Ricochet Traps, and then they really can't beat this card, because, like, they don't even play Karns, really all they play is counter spells. So, yeah. Alright, we'll send it back and see how it goes. Alright, so we're back. We're on the draw. This is a mulligan, because we do have a Street Wraith, but we only have a Swamp, which is pretty bad. We'd need to draw a land in one of our 2 or 3 drop steps, and then that makes this hand okay. Actually, I think I've convinced myself to keep it, because if we do draw a land, we can cycle the Valley Ran it, and then we have a Fulminator Mage, which is pretty necessary against this deck. So I think I am going to keep this and just hope for the best. It might not work out. If we don't draw a land in one of our 3 draw steps, then we're pretty much just dead. So we'll see what happens. But yeah. So there's a land. It's not really the right color. I'm not too worried about life against his deck, so I'm just going to start by cycling Street Wraith and see if we can draw a better land to play, which we didn't. So that's alright, but I would have liked to draw a mountain or a forest there. Or, you know, any of the non-basic lands. So hopefully he doesn't have another one of his Tron pieces, because that gives him turn 3 Tron, which is terrible for us. If you guys don't know what Tron is, it's there's Urza's Power Plant, Urza's Mine, and Urza's Tower, and these both add for 2 if you have all 3 of them, and Urza's Tower adds for 3. So it's a pretty dangerous deck to play against, because they can have turn 3 7 mana. I'm going to take it because he didn't crack his expedition map. He has a tower to play, because if he did, he'd probably just go get the tower instead of playing Talisman. So also this shows us that he's blue and possibly white also, which is much worse for us because I sideboarded more against the red-green version of the deck. So we're probably going to lose this game just because he has this deck has infinite counterspells basically, and in order to beat them, I have to have the ricochet traps. So maybe maybe it was correct to bring in some amount of the ricochet traps against him or her, with or without my knowing what deck I was playing against. So yeah, but end of this turn, I'm gonna cycle my Valorant and get a mountain, just in case we draw a demonic dread or something that will help us beat him quickly, because we have to do that. So his tapping out is actually pretty good for us because it gives us an opportunity to take him off Tron lands, which is pretty solid. So, oh wow, I just forgot to cycle this. Just goes to show what talking does. But sorry about that, guys. Don't do that. So basically, what you want to do with this deck is always kill their tower because it adds the most mana. And I don't want to let him untap with the Tron, so I'm just going to kill it now. This gives him the opportunity to get in for 2 mana, and if he does have another tower, then I think I'm just dead, because I mean, not just dead, but it's going to be pretty hard to come back from this game. Just because I have so little power in my hand, things to do, and his deck has so many counterspells, which is combo is weak to, you know. Alright, so I'm going to take 2, and then he'll probably just pass here, leave open a bunch of counterspells, or not. Alright, Treasure Mage, go find Wormcoil. Next turn, if he plays Wormcoil, I think I'm actually just dead, because this deck is basically can't beat Wormcoil, because Living End make them sack Wormcoil, they still get 6 power of guys on the board, which is really bad for us. And if you I don't know, it's just really hard to beat Wormcoil, because it's a 3-for-1 against us. We have no way to exile it, which is pretty bad. So on my upkeep, I'm gonna cycle the Valorant, actually, just so that I have less of a chance of drawing lands, and I'm gonna go get a green source. And then, yeah, hopefully, so there's the Wormcoil Engine, and hopefully this will work out. But I think we're dead this game. Yeah, we'll see what happens though. All right, leave open the Blackleaf Cliffs. Obviously, it gives us more versatility in our mana. Go to Forest, and then move to the main phase. Don't stop on my turn. Play the Forest, and we'll just pass here, because we don't really have anything to do. I'm obviously not going to concede this game until I'm dead, because I could still always come back somehow, but it's pretty unlikely. Alright, so maybe he doesn't have another land. That would be awesome. I doubt it, but it would be awesome. We're gonna take 4, I think. Yeah, because, yeah, we're just going to take 4. If we had 4 mana up, I'd cycle this in response and see if we could draw, a Jun Charm, which I took out. But we could draw the Cascade spell for 3 that I'm blanking on the name. So he just plays Thirst for Knowledge, which means he's kind of stuck on mana, but next turn he's definitely not going to be, because he played Thirst for Knowledge. So, yeah, basically, end of turn, my plan is to cycle Deadshot Minotaur, hopefully draw something else to cycle, or a Cascade spell. And we have to basically beat him before he gets Wormcoil on the board, which is next turn, so it's going to be pretty difficult to do. Because it's basically impossible for this deck to fight through Wormcoil, and especially when he has, after this Thirst for Knowledge, 6 cards on his hand, it's just going to be pretty difficult to come back from anything. So yeah, he discarded. Oh, he has 5 because he didn't discard an artifact, but that probably means he just has a ton of awesome cards on his hand. And with the Academy Ruins, eventually he'll just get Mindslaver and just lock us out of the game. So here we go. We're gonna cycle. Ingot Chewer is a decent draw, because there are 2 things that I could do with it right now. I could either kill his Talisman of Progress, which actually doesn't do anything, because he has Expedition Map now, so he can just go get the tower, and then he'll have a ton of mana. But the other thing I can do with the Ingot Chewer is when he does play Wurmcoil, I'll kill the Wurmcoil, and I can exile it from his graveyard, so that before this Living End cascades, I'll get, his Wurmcoil will be gone, and all of his guys will die, so it won't hurt me as much. So this turn, though, I'm just gonna play, I'm just gonna suspend the Living End and take 4 from these guys. I'll go to 8, and then next turn I'll play the Ingot Chewer and kill his Wurmcoil, and then, hopefully not die. But, this game is slowly creeping away from us. The best matchups for the Living End deck are basically aggro decks that play lots of creatures, because they'll just like dump their hand on the board, and you can basically just like 8-for-1 them by getting a bunch of your guys back and killing all their guys with a Living End. The worst matchups are probably any like heavy blue deck like this deck, or any other combo decks, because this deck has nothing to interact with an opponent at all. So he has 4, basically, Condescend, which is a counterspell for 1 blue and X, and it has Scry 2 and counter target spell, unless that player's controller pays X. So he either has that or Remand. So the two things I could do with the Ingot Chewer are actually play it and hope it doesn't get countered, or I could just evoke it and kill the Wurmcoil that way. So that gives him 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 power on the board, and then I could hope to resolve a monster's Carabid. Either way are kind of risky, so I think I'm just going to try and play the Ingot Chewer, because either way I think I'm dead. And we'll see. Actually, he can only do it for 4, so I'm going to cycle this first, just in case I draw my Cascade spell, which might be better to do. So yeah, I'm going to play this, kill his Wurmcoil Engine, and then next turn I'll have to trade with one of his 3/3s with the Ingot Chewer and go to 1, and hope to draw a Cascade spell, and that's basically my only out at this point, because, yeah, basically, like, Wurmcoil wrecks this deck, as I've been saying, and, yep. So, it looks like he has a Remand, or, oh, just a Thirst for Knowledge. Man, I can't believe this card does an instant. That's so good. Just 3 mana, like, basically draw 3 cards, because you draw 3 and then you only have to discard 1 artifact, or 2 cards you don't need. Alright, so it looks like, we'll see if the Ingot Chewer resolved. He discarded a Negate, so he does have the Remand, so we are just dead. We're going to go to game 3, and bring in all the reflection traps. Refraction? Ricochet traps against him, because it seems pretty necessary. So we're gonna pull out a bit too slow cards. Like Beast Within is good against the red-green decks because you can kill their Karns, but against this deck it's much worse. I don't think we need 3 Faerie Macabres, and sometimes Jungle Weavers are a bit too slow. They're really good against some decks because they're like really big, but against Wurmcoils they're obviously kind of small. I'm trying to decide if I want Dampening Matrix against him, because it stops the expedition maps, but it doesn't affect mana abilities. So like any eggs that he might have, or the blue-white mana rock thing, those will still work. So it really only affects expedition map, and by the time it comes down, which is most likely turn 3, I'm probably going to be dead anyway, or he probably will have Tron already. I am going to bring in, I think I'll bring in the Simian Spirit Guide also, just in case, because it's really, really good to get a turn 2 Fulminator Mage, or a turn 3 Avalanche Riders. And I want to basically just kill his lands as fast as I can, and that's how I have to win. So it's on the play, this deck has a much better chance of beating Tron. I think I'm going to take out, another Faerie Macabre, because it's really only good if I'm losing. So, like, it's good if he has Wurmcoils in the graveyard, and by the time he has Wurmcoils in the graveyard, I'm probably close to being dead already. So we're gonna try this and see how it goes. We will play first. This is a mulligan because I only have 1 Cycler and only black and kind of green mana. So yeah. Wow, this is also a mulligan, just because I have no cyclers. I can't play any of these. I have 4, which is like really bad because there are only 3 living ends, and I have an ingot chewer. So hopefully he mulls with us. But if we go to 5, this deck can win on 5. It's just obviously much more difficult. So he kept to 7, but we're gonna go to 5. This is actually our best hand yet. So we'll see how this goes. So we're going to play this, and then at the end of his turn, cycle the Deadshot Minotaur. And then hopefully we can just go, like, motor out, draw into a Fulminator Mage or something. That would be sweet, but I doubt it's going to happen. So on my turn, I'm going to draw, and I'm going to cycle this if I want to look for something else to draw. So yeah, this didn't really matter, but basically I have to draw either a land destruction spell or a Cascade spell, like this turn, to be able to win. So there's the Cascade spell, but I don't have a target for it, so I can't play it right now. Living End doesn't do anything. I am just gonna cycle... Here's the thing, I could play Simian Spirit Guide just to give myself a target for Demonic Dread, and I think that's actually a decent play. So, and if he wants to counter the Simian Spirit Guide, that's more than okay with me, so we'll see what he wants to do here. He might just remand it, but that's okay with me. And this is, we can also just start hitting him for damage too, which is decent. So he's going to crack this, probably go get a tower or a power plant, depending on which one he needs. So he does have blue mana up, which is kind of bad for us, because obviously that gives him counter spells. I'm tempted to wait to play the Demonic Dread until I have one of the trap cards, but the problem with that is that it gives him more time to get lands and then play Wormcoil Engine, and Wormcoil Engine will probably kill me. So, yeah. The thing with this draw with Violent Outburst is I can actually attack him, and then end of his turn play Violent Outburst, and if he counters it, I can play Demonic Dread on my turn, and that should lock up the game. But we'll see what he wants to do. If he plays Thirst for Knowledge here, I'm just going to Violent Outburst in response and get all these guys on the board. Alright, so yeah. Actually, I'm going to let him discard... Actually, yeah, because if he discards a Wormcoil Engine with this, I want to... oh, I can't play Violent Outburst. Ooh, sorry, that was a mess up on my part. I thought I had the mana for it, but I don't. So I guess that means we're just going to play the Valley Ranet, or cycle the Valley Ranet and get a red or a green source. That was bad. Sorry, guys. So we'll see what he discards with Thirst for Knowledge. Hopefully it's not like a Wormcoil, because that... If he has a Wormcoil in the graveyard, it basically makes Living End a do-nothing card, because Wormcoil is bigger than all of my guys. Good, so he just discarded a Mindslaver, which I'm okay with. That probably means he has Academy Ruins or more Expedition maps. Or both. If he gets Tron here, I think I'm just dead. Well, depends on what he has, actually. But he has 9 cards in hand, so it's like... I don't know. Tron is a rough matchup. I have to draw the land destruction spells. And Tron hasn't really been popular lately, so I used to have more Avalanche Riders and Fulminator Mages in the board, but I actually took them out because Tron wasn't popular. So this is bad for us, because now he has Tron, all 3 of them assembled, and he can actually like play big spells and then leave mana up to counter my spells, which is how this deck is supposed to act. So I'm gonna go get a Forest. And, maybe he just doesn't have counterspells, but somehow I doubt it. And drawing this Living End means that we can't do what I said before, which was to Violent Outburst at end of turn and then Demonic Dread, because we only play 3 Living Ends. And it doesn't work to Cascade when there isn't anything to Cascade into. So, he probably blocks here. That's my guess. So because he blocked, we're just going to do this now. I was just going to try and squeeze in 2 damage first. So I think he has a counterspell, in which case we're probably just dead. And the reason he played Solemn instead of Wormcoil, which I'm sure he has, is just because he probably wants to leave open Remand or the card I was talking about earlier. So yeah, I think that's game. I'm just going to scoop it up here because I can't really draw anything because the Living End actually goes back to my hand, and it's pretty unlikely he doesn't have a Wormcoil or something, and I will see you guys next round.